There is always the version of a crisis that unfolds in public, and then there is the version that lives behind closed doors. In moments of national attention, the camera captures composure, carefully chosen words, and steady expressions. What it cannot capture is the private unraveling that often happens out of sight. When viewers watch a familiar face speak during a painful chapter, they see dignity and control. They call it strength. They admire the grace under pressure. But the truth beneath that surface is rarely simple. A public crisis is never just one event. It is layered with history, relationships, memories, and old emotional patterns. When someone stands in front of millions while enduring personal fear, they are not just managing headlines. They are managing a lifetime of identity, expectation, and love, all colliding at once in ways few can fully understand. A career built on composure. At 54, many professionals finally reach a place of earned confidence. For Savannah Guthrie, that milestone represents decades of dedication in one of the most demanding fields in media. As a central figure on Today, she has navigated live broadcasts, breaking news, and high-stakes interviews with remarkable steadiness. Morning television is relentless. It requires warmth and authority in equal measure. Viewers expect intelligence without arrogance, empathy without sentimentality. Over the years, she has delivered exactly that balance. She built trust with audiences who welcome her into their homes each day. By any professional measure, this stage of life should feel secure. It should feel like a rival. Yet life does not pause for achievement. Personal hardship does not consult resumes. And sometimes, the very strength that built a career becomes the armor worn during private heartbreak. When personal crisis meets public life, when a family emergency unfolds under national attention, the emotional weight doubles. It is one thing to fear for someone you love. It is another to do so while cameras wait for updates. A daughter worried about her mother is simply human. But when that daughter is also a public figure, every word carries consequence. Public statements must be measured. Emotions must be filtered. There is no room for uncontrolled panic. This dual existence creates a split experience, the outward-facing role and the inward, trembling heart. Those watching may see clarity and control. They may not see the quiet moments in between appearances when the uncertainty grows heavier. The challenge is not just enduring fear. It is enduring fear while remaining articulate, calm, and reassuring to others. That is an invisible burden few outside such circumstances can fully grasp. The weight of time and responsibility age carries perspective, but it also carries responsibility. At 54, many people are caring not only for children but also for aging parents. The emotional bridge between generations becomes especially tender. Watching a parent grow older shifts something deep inside. The roles slowly change. Concern replaces dependence. Protection replaces guidance. When a crisis involves an elderly parent, the urgency feels sharper because time itself feels fragile. Every hour matters more. Health becomes a constant consideration. Worry is no longer abstract. It is specific and immediate. For any daughter, the fear of not being able to help her mother in a moment of need is profoundly destabilizing. Add public scrutiny to that fear, and the pressure compounds. It is no longer just about waiting for answers. It is about waiting while remaining strong for children, colleagues, and an audience looking for reassurance, strength as a learned language. Strength does not appear overnight. It is learned, often early, often quietly. Many people raised with high expectations internalize a belief that composure equals capability. Vulnerability may feel unsafe or indulgent. Over time, holding everything together becomes second nature. It is not performance in a shallow sense. It is survival in an emotional one. When crisis strikes, such individuals default to structure. They organize thoughts. They manage logistics. They focus on action steps. From the outside, this looks heroic. From the inside, it may simply feel necessary. There is beauty in resilience, but there is also exhaustion in never allowing oneself to fall apart. When a lifetime of conditioning meets an overwhelming moment, the result is often controlled grace. Yet beneath that grace can exist a profound longing to simply be comforted without expectation. The silence. Between updates in any unfolding emergency, there are stretches of silence. Those stretches can be the hardest part. Public updates happen at specific intervals, but the hours in between move slowly. Phones remain close. Every notification feels charged with possibility. Loved ones gather, offering support, yet no one can provide certainty. During those waiting periods, the mind races through scenarios. Hope and fear alternate in exhausting cycles. For someone accustomed to delivering information for a living, being the one who has none can feel especially disorienting. Journalists are trained to ask questions, to uncover facts, to bring clarity. In personal crisis, that control disappears. The unknown becomes the dominant force. What the public sees are brief statements. What they do not see is the long stretch of waiting, the quiet rooms, and the deep breaths taken just to steady a racing heart. The invisible inner dialogue. Public admiration often centers on visible poise. Comments praise bravery and composure, but admiration does not silence internal questions. In times of crisis, old emotional narratives can resurface. Am I doing enough? Am I handling this the right way? Should I be stronger? These questions echo even when no one else voices them. For someone who has spent a lifetime meeting high standards, the instinct to perform strength can be automatic, yet beneath that instinct may live a simple, universal need: reassurance, not applause, not approval from strangers, just the steady reminder that love does not depend on performance. In difficult moments, even accomplished adults can feel like children again, hoping they are measuring up to the expectations of those who shape them. That quiet psychological layer is often the deepest and most private part of any public tragedy. The power of unconditional love-family bonds are complex. Love can be fierce, guiding, motivating. It can also carry unspoken expectations that linger long into adulthood. In the best moments, love reassures without condition. It says, "You are enough," without requiring proof. During hardship, those words matter more than ever. They anchor identity when circumstances feel unstable. A daughter who has achieved extraordinary professional success may still crave the simplest affirmation from her mother. Not praise for performance, not recognition for resilience, but pure, uncomplicated love. Crisis clarifies what truly matters. Careers, reputations, and public perception fade in importance compared to the safety of family and the comfort of knowing that love remains steady. At its heart, this story is not about headlines. It is about that fundamental human need to know we are cherished beyond achievement. Holding space for humanity, it is easy to project narratives onto public figures. We assign them strength, wisdom, invincibility. Yet they are human first. They experience fear, uncertainty, and longing just as anyone else does. recognizing that humanity changes how we witness their struggles. Instead of seeing only the composed broadcaster, we see the daughter. Instead of applauding only resilience, we acknowledge vulnerability. Compassion deepens when we allow complexity. A person can be strong and exhausted at the same time. They can be grateful for support while quietly overwhelmed. They can stand confidently before cameras and still need comfort in private. When we hold space for that duality, we respond not with spectacle, but with empathy. And empathy, especially in moments of crisis, is far more meaningful than commentary. A hope rooted in love. At the center of every difficult chapter is hope. Hope for safety, hope for reunion, hope for healing. Beyond public statements and media coverage, what ultimately matters is the restoration of family and peace. When hardship tests a family, it also reveals the depth of connection that binds them. The strongest message in times like these is simple: love endures. It does not require perfection. It does not depend on flawless composure. It exists because of shared history, shared memories, and shared hearts. Whatever unfolds, the most powerful reassurance any daughter can receive is that she has always been loved, not for her achievements or her steadiness, but for who she is. And that truth, spoken clearly and without condition, has the power to quiet even the loudest storm.